The golden age of America begins right now. America's decline is over. We will be working to meet every crisis with dignity and power and strength. We will move with purpose and speed to bring back hope, prosperity, safety, and peace for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day. In everything we do, my administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence and unrelenting success. America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth. I am with you. I will fight for you, and I will win for you. We will not be conquered. We will not be intimidated. We will not be broken, and we will not fail. From this day on, the United States of America will be a free, sovereign, and independent nation. We will stand bravely. We will live proudly. We will dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun.
It was a week like we've never seen before. In 7 Genesis-like days, Trump has completely recreated the nation and increasingly the world. These were scenes reportedly from Brazil over the weekend as criminal deportees were returned to their own nation, and you'll notice in handcuffs. The Trump administration isn't kidding around here. He knows he's got all the political leverage on the planet for precisely these kinds of deportations of criminal illegal aliens. A New York Times Ipsos poll from early January found that 88% of voters supported deporting illegal immigrants with criminal records. You heard that right, 88%. You are not going to find a more popular political policy than that. And so Trump, of course, has wasted no time in his mass deportation operations. And the first deportee flights, which used military planes, started taking off on Friday. However, on Sunday morning, Trump posted this on Truth Social. I was just informed that 2 repatriation flights from the United States with a large number of illegal criminals were not allowed to land in Colombia. This order was given by Colombia's socialist president, Gustavo Petro, who's already very unpopular among his people. He's right on that. We'll talk about that in a moment. Petro's denial of these flights has jeopardized the national security and public safety of the United States. So, I have directed my administration to immediately take the following urgent and decisive retaliatory measures. Emergency 25% tariffs on all goods coming into the United States. In 1 week, the 25% tariffs will be raised to 50%. A travel ban and immediate visa revocations on the Colombian government officials and all allies and supporters. Visa sanctions on all party members, family members, and supporters of the Colombian government. Enhanced customs and border protection inspections of all Colombian nationals and cargo on national security grounds. IEEPA, Treasury, banking, and financial sanctions to be fully imposed. IEEPA stands for the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. These measures are just the beginning. We will not allow the Colombian government to violate its legal obligations with regard to the acceptance and return of the criminals they forced into the United States. And all I can say is, wow. I mean, a new sheriff is a tower, maybe not a sheriff. To make this even sweeter, Trump, after he sent out that, True Social posting, Trump posted this glorious image of himself with the anagram FAFO, which stands for, F around and find out. I mean, this is so glorious because what this image does is it evokes the distinctively American mafia myth that came out of the Prohibition era when mob bosses were glamorized as men of unwavering, fearless moxie who stood against the powers that be, right? That's what you see most explicitly in Mario Puzo's The Godfather. It depicts mobsters as men who cared about the happiness of their communities and who lived by their own codes of honor and conduct, impervious to the political whims of the establishment. So in the end, mobsters were rebels, like the cyberpunk today. Mobsters symbolize sticking it to the establishment. They're a very populist image or symbol. So Trump knows what he's doing here. Now, you should know Trump is absolutely right about Petro being so unpopular. Colombia actually had a very good president just prior to him, Ivan Duque. He was a populist right president. And then the people decided, for whatever reason, to go with the socialist populist left president. And it's been a disaster ever since. So these are scenes, for example, from Bogota last year, when tens of thousands came out to protest his proposed reforms to health, pension, and labor systems. I mean, Petro is absolutely despised by the general public in Colombia. His approval ratings are dismal. They're in the low 20s. And Trump's announcement that the U.S. embassies will no longer process tourist visas to the United States, that's not going to sit well among Colombians. Nearly 1 million visited the United States last year on a tourist visa. So this is a very significant sanction. And this guy, Petro, is so pathetic. I kid you not. He's actually retweeting AOC posts. Talk about a guy who cannot read the room. I kid you not. AOC retweets this absurdity that we, the American consumer, we pay for the tariffs, say coffee tariffs, not Colombia, because of the higher prices, right? And talk about somebody who got absolutely roasted online. It was pointed out to her that in a free market economy, the American consumer simply buys cheaper coffee. They find another option. That's why nations don't want tariffs imposed on them. They inevitably disrupt their exports. And again, it gets even worse. I'm going to show you what's really happening inside Colombia that guarantees this president's political demise. But first, gang, did you know that American homeowners have over $32 trillion in equity? And criminals are targeting it with a growing scam the FBI calls house stealing. I kid you not. So scammers can transfer your title out of your name using a one-page document they file at the county. Then they can take out loans against it or even sell it behind your back. And the scariest part, you won't find out about it until collection or foreclosure notices start arriving in your mailbox, leaving you with a financial and legal nightmare. Now, the best way to protect your equity is with Home Title Lock's exclusive $1 million triple lock protection. Now, this service offers 24/7 monitoring, urgent alerts, and if fraud should occur, their U.S.-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix the fraud and restore your title. It's amazing stuff. So when was the last time you checked on your title? Well, if you're like me, the answer is never. And that's exactly what scammers are counting on. The good news is we partnered with Home Title Lock to offer you all 25% off their services. Go to HomeTitleLock.com. Use my promo code TurleyTalks25. That's TurleyTalks25, all one word, to save 25% off. And you'll also get a free title history report to ensure you're not already a victim. And make sure you check out the $1 million triple lock protection details when you get there. They're amazing. Click on that link below. That's HomeTitleLock.com, promo code TurleyTalks25. So Trump is unleashing nothing short of a blitzkrieg of sanctions here. 25% tariffs on all Colombian goods, jumping to 50% in a week. Immediate travel bans, mass visa revocations, enhanced border inspections, treasury sanctions, banking restrictions, financial penalties, all targeting Petro's Marxist government officials, allies, and their families. And if you think it through, this Marxist president, Petro, is fighting an absolutely futile battle, as are the Democrats who are trying to criticize Trump and how he's handling this. They have literally no moral high ground here whatsoever. This president is refusing to take back his own citizens who illegally entered our nation and were found to have criminal records. Remember, 88% of the public supports getting rid of them. So his recalcitrance amounts to Colombia, in effect, deliberately dumping its criminals on U.S. soil. There is no moral high ground here. And his recalcitrance is only causing Colombians to suffer. So I have no idea how President Petro thinks he's going to politically benefit from this. Trump's got everything to gain, and Petro's got everything to lose. And here's the real irony in all of this. Latin American nations, guess what? They can't stand illegal immigration either, especially Colombia. It's not just the United States. Scores of Latin American nations are dealing particularly with Venezuelan immigrants. Argentina, for example, generally has the largest amount of migrants crossing their borders every year. And ironically, Colombia comes in second with nearly 2 million migrants every single year. And the key here is that migration is a major point of political contention in these Latin American nations. You see it in Chile, you see it in Brazil. And this is largely because of the rise of something called post-security politics, which are political concerns that arise as a result of the sense of insecurity that comes from the open borders of globalist policies. So globalism doesn't like borders precisely because it doesn't like high-wage labor. Open borders provide cheap labor. And it's not just happening here, it's happening all over Latin America. And their citizens can't stand it either. So once again, I got no idea what this Marxist president, what he thinks he's going to gain from all of this. He has no political leverage whatsoever, and it just looks like he allowed his TDS, his Trump derangement syndrome, to get the best of him, to get in his own way, as it were. And so it's no surprise that just an hour after Trump made that announcement on Truth Social with all of those sanctions, that blitzkrieg of sanctions, it's no surprise that this guy, President Petro, completely caved within an hour. He totally caved. The Colombian government announced that it was arranging, quote, the presidential aircraft to facilitate the dignified return of nationals who were scheduled to arrive in the country this morning on deportation flights. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. Election Wizard summed it up this way. In under an hour of diplomacy, the Colombian president rejects U.S. flights for illegals, condemning deportations. 2, Trump responds with tariffs, a travel ban, and visa revocation. 3, the Colombian president then says, my bad, Mr. Trump, I'll send my plane to pick them up. Game, set, match. Now, what happened on Sunday really just topped off what was without a doubt the greatest and most productive first week of any president in our lifetimes. We've never seen this before. Again, I've said, like at the beginning, it's very Genesis-like. Trump, in a matter of just 7 days, has completely recreated our country. And the Democrats and legacy media, as it turned out, even some Latin American leaders, they have absolutely no clue how to respond to this. They have no political leverage. Trump has all the political power right now. And we know that because the more they try to resist him, the stronger he gets. So he suspended the security clearance of the 51 intelligence officers who blatantly lied about Hunter Biden's laptop back in October 2020. He lifted the security details for John Bolton and Tony Fauci. On Tuesday of last week, he sent out a memo to the heads of all government agencies ordering them to shut down their DEI offices by 5 p.m. the very next day. All DEI hires, all of them, were to be placed on paid administrative leave immediately. And by the way, Trump is fully aware of all the games they're trying to play. And he smiled and in fact said, don't try playing those games because you'll be put on administrative leave as well. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that nearly all foreign aid would be frozen for the next 90 days while the United States determines whether that aid is in alignment with Trump's America First agenda. Around midnight on Friday, as the first wave of planes were returning deportees to their countries of origin, Trump fired nearly 20 inspectors general in 24 federal agencies. So we're talking the Defense Department, State Department, Energy Department, Department of Housing and Urban Development and the Department of Veterans Affairs. He's replacing them all with absolute loyalists, MAGA loyalists, who'll be dedicated to systematically draining the swamp in every single agency. Bureaucrats are calling it a bloodbath, right? Permanent Washington is calling this literally shock and awe. It's more astonishing and horrifying than they even imagined a month ago. And in the process, Trump is absolutely crushing the Democrats and legacy media, hitting them on literally all fronts: border security, economic security, cultural security, right? All those post-security politics. He's dismantling DEI. He's dismantling the deep state. He gave more press conferences in a week than Biden did in a year. I love what attorney and podcaster Eric Matheny tweeted out. He said, quote, "Trump is governing like a man who's been shot, indicted, investigated, and impeached, and has no F's left to give. It's glorious." And it is glorious indeed. I want to personally invite each and every one of you to an incredible live event that you won't want to miss, the America's Golden Age Summit, where you explore how America is entering a new golden age filled with opportunities to thrive like never before. During this powerful 90-minute online event, my special guest and I will reveal some secrets for how you and your family can prosper in this new, exciting era. From financial strategies to building a legacy rooted in freedom and faith, this summit is designed to help you succeed. Spaces are limited, so don't wait. Register now and secure your online spot today. I can't wait to see you there.